Hi, I'm Dana, and today I really want to talk about the autistic need to over-explain, because I feel like it's one of the things that just causes me the most internal distress when I'm in social situations and when I'm in social situations with people I have a relationship with. You know, it's not like random strangers or acquaintances or people that I'm vaguely friends with. It's always been like the very, very close relationships, very, very close friendships, the people that I'm living with, the people that the people that I am the closest to in my life. And also authority figures of any sort. And I think the first reason for it is that from a very, very early age, I was very aware that people would tell me, oh, I understand what you mean, I do that too. And it'd be for a completely different reason. They didn't understand why I was behaving the way that I was. They didn't understand why I did the things that I did. They just understood that they did something similar and they knew why they did it. And I'd be like, no, I know we're doing the same thing, but it's not the same, you know? Like, it's the same thing, but it's not stemming from the same place. I'm not doing it for the same reasons. I'm not doing it with the same expectations. You don't understand. And, you know, I think most people are trying to be compassionate. They're trying to show empathy. They're trying to make you feel better. They're not seeing it as like, I'm going to tell the lie of I understand. But that's how it feels. It feels like you're lying to me. It feels like you're an idiot that just doesn't get it. It feels like you're not listening to me. It's not the same thing. You don't understand. So it triggers this massive response in me to want people to understand. And especially because if they're talking to me about it and going into detail about it, I would assume that they want to understand. You know, like if I was talking to someone and I was like, oh, I understand what you mean, when I didn't, I'd want them to explain it to me. I would want to listen to them. But when I've had those situations, it doesn't necessarily feel like they do want to listen. It does often feel like it was just something to shut me up and to make me be quiet. And they don't care that it's not the same thing. They don't care that they actually don't understand. And obviously that's very frustrating and feels very invalidating and prompts me to want to over-explain my actions. Another big one is that I have a very limited perception of myself. I've had many a situation in my life where people have pulled me up and been like, you did this. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And they're like, but you did this, and this, and it adds up to this. And I'm like, you are correct, yes. I completely see why if someone ignored me in person 2 times and then didn't reply to that text message, I'd think they were ignoring me. But I didn't make a decision to ignore you, you know? And that's where like it often is, this one specifically often comes along with the apologies, and that's a different topic actually. But you know, there's been so many situations where people have registered my behaviour as being manipulative, as being abusive, as being this or that, and I don't believe I've ever behaved abusively towards anyone. There's been times when I've been shitty, there's been times when I've been a bit toxic, there's been times when I definitely didn't do the right thing. And there's also been the times that I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I can still see how from the context of my behaviour that they received, it seemed a certain way. And that's where, obviously, I want people to understand what was going on in my head. I want people to understand what the situation was. I want to be able to explain, no, I didn't decide to manipulate you. I didn't decide to do this thing. I see that that's what's happened. I can still be sorry about it, but I didn't have the intention of it, you know? And there's also been plenty of situations where I literally didn't do the thing. I've literally not done anything. I'm just going about living my life and all of a sudden people have an issue and I should be able to explain myself. But it's the thing of, I feel like in my position, a neurotypical person would be able to explain themselves in like 3 sentences. And instead I'm like, here's 6 paragraphs of voice note and I'm filming something for you right now. You know, like I can't explain myself in a short, condensed, precise way, which seems like is what people want. And as soon as you start to over-explain and give too much, people think it's an excuse. People think that you're elaborating and lying, when like, no, I just want you to actually understand, and it doesn't feel like anyone ever fucking does. Another big part of it for me is that I've had 70,000 billion times, especially when it comes to my special interests, that I've tried to engage and talk to people about them, and they haven't had a fucking clue what it is, you know? So I get used to sort of preface. I get used to having like an explanation be sort of the start of things, and that's where I've then had lots of people that are like, no, I know. And I feel like it definitely gives off the perception of like, oh, well, I thought you were an absolute idiot, sorry. When like, no, I've just gotten used to like, I'm Bobo the clown, I'm the idiot that's chattering off about this thing that no one else fucking knows what I'm talking about, and it makes me feel like a fool. And it's so bizarre to me that so many groups of people seem to take that as like me looking down on them and thinking they're all idiots and thinking I'm so smart because I'm talking about the thing you don't understand. Like, I'm talking about TV shows, my guy. Like, I do not think I'm smarter or clever or better than anybody else here. And that's why, like, it's like a defense mechanism that, in order to not let people think that I think that I'm better than them and smarter than them and I'm being pretentious and whatever, I'll explain it to them first, because then we're on even footing and we both know about the thing. But then apparently that's also just me over-explaining when I don't need to, and I don't know which things people aren't going to know about, you know? So then I start just over-explaining absolutely fucking everything, and then it's very obvious to me and everyone else that it does look like I'm being an asshole and assuming that everyone around me, like, just does not have the same level of knowledge about basic things that I do. But I don't know which things are the basic things and which things are the things that people do need that first explanation for, you know? And it stems to the other point as well of, I can't do the little condensed sweet, like, here's the taster course for you to get enough of a grasp for us to have this conversation. It's all or nothing. I'm giving you, like, every bit of my knowledge about it, or I'm giving you none of it at all, and all of a sudden I'm just sat there talking and over-explaining and saying way too fucking much. And there is also a massive, massive part of it, especially when I was younger, that just deeply, deeply wants someone to fucking understand. I just deeply want someone to say, like, no, my brain works the same way, I get this entirely, and to be able to, like, listen to my explanation and be like, no, that's the same for me, you know? And when I've had so many people say that they understand when they clearly don't, being able to give this whole massive explanation and have someone sit there and nod along and be like, no, I get it, you know? It means the fucking world, it is everything. And that doesn't happen unless I do my little over-explanation and go through things and talk. And the other side of that is that it's also really fucking nice when someone can just say, like, no, I don't understand, explain, and listens, you know? But when I have had those situations, I'm so used to people being annoyed at me, people being angry at me for over-explaining, that, like, I can't do it. It doesn't come out anymore. And that's where I have the more that I panic in a situation, like, that's why I think it especially comes out during apologies. The more that I am panicking, the more that I don't know what to say, the more that I don't know how to fix a situation, the more I'm going to over-explain, because, like, I didn't mean to fuck up, you know? And that's not me saying that I haven't, it's not me saying that, like, I deserve to be, like, completely let off the hook or whatever. But there's just been so many situations that people seem to think that I've, like, maliciously made decisions to hurt them when that's not the case. And I feel like I should get to explain that that's not the case, you know? But if I'm not in a situation where I'm, like, actively panicked and it's just fight or flight, just deal with the situation, I don't explain anything about myself. I don't talk about myself. It's so all or nothing, you know? You either get the full explanation, or I just do not know which bits are actually important and which bits aren't. And it makes it so awkward, because obviously I am trying to do, like, the condensed sweet little version that people actually want. And there's so many times that I think I'm giving this, like, condensed sweet little version and someone's like, whoa, that's a big thing, go into depth about that. And I'm like, I didn't register that as being an important part. I don't have anything to say about that beyond what I've already said, you know? But I do think it's very much the thing of, like, I deeply, deeply want to over-explain and have people understand me. But I learned at a very young age, the more I explain and the more people understand, the more fucking annoyed they are and the less they like me. So I just learned to not fucking do it unless it is, like, the fight or flight, my brain is gone, you know how it is. I hope. I don't know how to explain it ever. You know, it's those pre-meltdown moments where, like, my brain, it doesn't feel like I'm controlling any of it. I'm just running on autopilot, and it's fucking bizarre and it's weird and I don't enjoy it. But yeah, that was my little video on over-explaining, and I don't want to over-explain why I over-explain, you know? Like, I feel like I've managed to actually get my point out pretty concisely and well here. Fingers crossed. I feel like that means that people probably won't get what I fucking mean because I haven't explained it well enough, because I've tried to be short and concise. But I've tried my best and we're getting what we're getting. So as always, if you do want to like and subscribe, that'd be lovely. I feel like we have got quite, like, a nice little corner of the internet here. Like, I mean, I also delete a lot of comments, I won't lie to you. But I also get a lot of comments from you guys saying, like, oh, well, my last comment disappeared when I did not delete it. Like, if it disappears immediately, that's nothing to do with me, and I don't know why that happens. Every comment I delete's been up for at least, like, 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh, bit of a thick you, aren't you? Like, especially if you comment regularly, I'm not the one deleting your comments, okay? Like, I don't know if it's a YouTube glitch, I don't know. because they don't even get put into like my like reviewed comments, because I do review my comments and let the ones that are... YouTube doesn't like people swearing in comments, and then they put them into that section and I have to like okay them when it's literally just someone was like, oh that shit, blah blah blah, and like, you know, like it's not a mean comment, it's just one like profanity. But yeah, I do delete a lot of comments, but if you're not actively being an asshole, it's probably not me that's deleting them. I really only delete the ones that are like, you're not even autistic, you're just a whore, you know? It's cool. But yeah, outside of YouTube, if you wanted to follow me over on Instagram or TikTok, you can do. I have quite an active presence. I'm active on TikTok, not so much on Instagram. I don't like Instagram that much anymore, and I kind of want to delete it, but like everyone has Instagram, so I'm not going to, but I want to. But I prefer TikTok by far, so please do follow me on TikTok if you've got that platform. And for now, oh shit, I also have Patreon. I'm doing a great job of this influencer stuff, so like obviously I'm absolutely rolling in the cash, so you don't have to worry about it. But I do have Patreon and Ko-fi if you would like to pay me monthly and get like early content, or if you would like to do a one-time donation, they're there. They'll be linked down below along with all my other stuff. It'll all be there. There's no pressure, you do not have to, it's all cool. And for now, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.